So let's talk about motivation. Motivation is just as important, if not actually much more important than the practice methods. The reason is, it doesn't matter how much information you have about how to practice properly. If you don't have the proper motivation, you'll never stick with it, you'll never put the time into it. And everybody knows that to master something, it requires dedication and usually passion. But what is dedication? I mean, really, what does that mean? What does it take to make somebody actually dedicated to doing something, to putting all that time in every day, all the work and all the effort to achieve a goal in the end? Because at a deeper level, that goal is much, much more valuable to that person than is the time and effort they're investing into achieving it. So how do you achieve that? How do you get to that point where you have that dedication, where you have that motivation? I mean, there are some pretty generic motivations people have. They want to be famous, or they want to, have the significance of being a master at something. And those are great, but those aren't actually the reasons. There's a reason why you want those things. And so you need to dig deep to figure out what it is that really drives you in that direction. What is it that makes you excited about it? What's going to make you feel like a kid on Christmas morning, waking up early every day just to practice the guitar? Like, what would it take to get you to that level? And you have it. I mean, it's there, but you need to find it. And you might need to dig through some things. It might be a little uncomfortable, but do it. If you're serious about this, do it. Find that motivation. Think back to your childhood dream. If you dreamed of being a guitarist as a kid, how did that make you feel then? And ask yourself, how can you feel that way every day? How could you get that dream back with all of its color, all of its vividness? How can you get into that state of mind on a daily basis before practicing? If you can figure that out, which you can, when you figure that out, you'll be unstoppable. We all know that motivation has two sides to it. There's the type of motivation that's maybe based on fear or anxiety, that's going to make you work harder to make extra money so that you can pay your bills, so you don't get evicted, right? Like, that's a type of motivation. On the other hand, there's a type of motivation where you're going to work equally hard, if not harder, to make extra money to buy that new guitar because you want that new guitar, right? That's desire. So you have fear on one side, desire on the other. And so how can you use both of those? If you really want to succeed at this, you're going to want to take advantage of both. And it's not as hard as it sounds. I mean, once you understand your real motivation, your deeper reason for why it is that you're going after this, then the question comes down to, what would it be like if you failed? What would it be like if you spent years, or you procrastinated over all these years? You didn't invest your time. And 20 years from now, you look back and you realize that you could have spent that time, just a little bit a day, and you'd be where you want to be. But you didn't spend it, so you've just lost those 20 years. How would that feel? Really, really think about it. Feel what that would feel like. And I know this sounds cliche or self-help-y or whatever, but I'm dead serious with this. Visualize that. And then on the other hand, what would it feel like 20 years from now if you invested a little bit of time every day into this goal? It doesn't have to be a ton, right? Just maybe an hour a day at first, and you build that momentum. And in 20 years of consistently sticking with that, where will you be? And how would that feel? How is that achievement going to feel to you? Beyond what it would mean to other people, what does it mean to you? And that's really where we're going with this. So dig deep down and figure out what it is that you want out of it. And be honest with yourself, because maybe it's not really about guitar. Maybe it's really just about, social status or something. You just want to be the best. You want people to see you as the best. And while that might not be the healthiest reason, use it. If that's the reason, use it. And, it'll probably evolve over time. And you might get over some of the ego elements of that over time. But at least at the beginning, use it. But also be willing to be fluid with it. Be willing to change it. If a healthier, better, stronger motivation comes in later, use that. Be willing to change it if you need to. Whatever it takes, find that motivation that's going to get you up early in the morning and make you want to stay up late at night practicing and making this happen. Because it's not going to be tedious. It's not going to be boring. If you have that motivation, every second that you're investing into working towards your goal will actually be fulfilling and exciting and even thrilling. So stick with it, dig down, find your real motivation.